Good afternoon, class. My name is Danny Martinez, and today I'm going to be talking about four different prompts today. The first one is going to be defend the perspective that the first step in the five-step decision-making model is the most important. The first step in the five-step decision-making model is defining the problem. And defining the problem is arguably the most important part in the five-step decision-making model, because without defining the problem, you're not attacking any sort of issue that's going on in the decision-making model. So the defining the problem definitely focuses on the decision. You definitely have to find the root of the problem, that's the cause of what's going on. Why is there the business failing? So in a business setting, if a company identifies declining sales but doesn't look towards the salesman or the saleswoman that are in the job position, then they're not really attacking the problem or defining the problem, one might say. So that's a good example on what you could do. Also, gathering a lot of relevant information is very crucial for it, because you're going to want to make sure that you attack the right problem. If low employment is the company's problem, you're not going to be looking for the salespeople for why aren't they making sales. It's whatever's, the cause and effect. There's whatever's causing the company to lose money in this area. There's going to be a solution to it and an effect on why that's happening, because it doesn't just randomly happen. There's a reason to it. So it also improves focus and alignment, and it ensures that all stakeholders are on top of their memos. Without a clear problem definition, there could be differences in interpretation that slow down the decision-making process, and it creates inefficiencies. It could also save a lot of time with resources in the long run. Addressing the wrong problem can lead to costly mistakes, wasted resources, and prolonged inefficiencies. So just imagine how much time, energy, and money that a company could be wasting on something that they think is going on, they think is wrong with the company, but in reality it's a complete other thing that they had no idea. So this can waste time, energy, and money, which is crucial to businesses. So attacking the right problem at the right time is definitely crucial. A well-defined problem ensures focus, guides information, and prevents misguided solutions. So investing time and effort into properly defining the problem ultimately leads to better decision making and a successful outcome overall for the business. For my next prompt is, in what types of work situations would satisficing be appropriate? List at least 3 occupations or industries where satisficing would not be an appropriate strategy for decision making. So to sum it up, satisficing refers to the practice of choosing an option that is good enough rather than optimizing for the best possible solution. So a satisficing decision would be, for example, if you were doing emails and you had to write back to your employees, the certain way that you write the email can be satisficing. It doesn't have to be completely perfect because it's just an email, compared to other jobs where you it requires a step-by-step protocol, and if you don't follow those rules step by step, then the outcome of the job scenario is not going to be to your liking whatsoever. So satisficing would be appropriate for routine tasks with low stakes. Managing meetings, writing emails, like I said. Jobs with very to little no consequence if something was to go wrong or a screw up. Those are where satisfaction would be appropriate. Low complexity decisions, where decisions where you don't have to continuously think through if it's right or wrong this way. Just decisions that don't really have a certain outcome. Those can be used for satisficing. Um, Situations with insufficient information. I mean, if a job doesn't have enough information for you, it's more than likely not going to be too crucial for the work that you're going to have to put in, because if the information doesn't balance out with the job, then you're not going to really need a lot of crucial information for it. Occupations where satisficing would not be appropriate there's many of those, because some jobs that they require the step-by-step protocol, and it's very crucial for them. So one of them would be healthcare, so doctors, surgeons, nurses. These are all occupations that require heavy, severe protocols. So there's no like skipping steps. There's no, okay, we don't have this tool, let's just use that to like the other tool. It's very by the book. So aerospace engineers and pilots are also another occupation where this would not be appropriate. They are all reliable on air traffic control and crucial decisions when it comes to these occupations. So lawyers and judges, this is another occupation that you can definitely put in that list, because at the end of the day, the decisions that you guys are making either reflect on one person's outcome or a whole group of people's outcome. So you're going to want to make sure that there's no corners cut, and everything is broken down into the correct way to make sure that the best possible outcome can happen for whatever legal consequence that the court's in. So satisficing can be an effective strategy with certain job scenarios. For the ones that are writing emails or organizing meetings, they can deal with satisficing. But jobs that include pilots, lawyers, engineers, these occupations definitely cannot do this type of satisficing. For my third prompt, it is discuss the relationship between creativity and innovation. Is it possible to innovate without creativity? Is it possible to be creative without innovating? Defend your position. I believe it is possible to innovate without creativity, because the idea of creativity is just thinking of a new idea, of just something new. And innovation is when you have that idea and you put it into use. You have a backup plan, you have documentation, you have all different backups to with whatever information that you might have thought of with creativity your innovation will put that creativity into use. So you can definitely have one without the other. Uh, True innovation definitely requires creativity, but it's possible to have a form of innovation that doesn't rely on groundbreaking creative thinking. And yes, you can also be creative without innovating, because creativity is just having, different ideas, useful solutions, or while innovation, you gonna need skills and resources and the right references to back up your argument. I would argue that true innovation needs creativity. However, incremental innovations that improve existing products or processes, they may not need the groundbreaking creativity. And I also believe that creativity without innovation happens a lot as well. Many people don't have all these brilliant ideas, but they can lack the means to implement them, or simply just choose not to put in all the different facts and information that they need. They could just be, not have all the resources that they need, so they can't put it into that innovation. For example, many scientists might come up with a hypothesis and they don't break down their practical innovations because they never got tested. For my last prompt is, under what organizational circumstances would you choose a job candidate who exhibited creative potential but lacked practice creativity experience over a candidate who had worked in an environment where opportunities to develop practice creativity were extensive, but who exhibited less creative potential? Under what organizational circumstances would you choose a candidate with obvious practice creativity skills over someone with creative potential? Excuse me. So I would choose a creative potential employer over a practice creativity when I'm looking for a long term growth, innovation, and the ability to adapt. And then I would choose a practice creativity employer when the job includes to be more creative skills for more of a short-term style, and something that they're in and they need to get right to work. Someone where they don't need to plan ahead their schedule or their what they got going on for their job occupation for throughout the week. It's like they need someone who's knows what they're doing and can get in and can get out as fast as they can. So choosing a candidate with creative potential, but someone who lacks creativity experience, this could evolve into a powerful asset over time. Their fresh ideas and their ability to just think nonstop can make a really good fit for the organization. It can come up with great ideas, great solutions to the problems that that company's having. So in early stage or startup environments, this person can work great under this type of job environment, as you're gonna want as new, as fresh, as kind of youth type way of thinking, in order to just get these ideas out to the customers. And it's with how much AI and technology has grown, these new employers that have this are well well-rounded with technology. They can help communicate with the customers, and also they have that in common, that they're both are filled with youth, and they're excited, and they're creative, so this can really relay the message with the customers.